is the CEO of The Points Guy, and he joins us live now from New Hope, Pennsylvania. So, Brian, this is something I have thought about for quite a while, just in terms of narrowly squeezing into these seats, especially if I'm flying on a domestic airline here in the US. The FAA has been flooded with complaints from passengers about just how narrow and small these seats actually are, especially if the person in front of you reclines, then you have no hope of having a comfortable flight. Just walk us through what changes now. Is the FAA going to make changes as a result of some of these complaints that they're getting, the feedback that they're getting from customers?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. As a 6'7" traveler, I mean, there are certain planes I simply
you have no
cannot.
chance.
So I understand people's pain, and the FAA's mandate is safety. So by law, when the airlines were deregulated in the 70s, the FAA can now only make rules to make airlines safer. And it is very silly that in 2019 they conducted egress tests because every plane should be able to be evacuated within 90 seconds. They did these tests with environments that are nothing like the real world. So I couldn't agree more with the legislators who came out today and said, hey, at a minimum, let's do the tests that reflect the actual environment. Whenever they test cars or rocket ships, they put them through wild environments. So it seems like the FAA kind of phoned it in and did some lame tests just to say that the current status quo is fine.
Yeah, during the tests, the planes weren't nearly as full. They used passengers, I think, from the ages 18 to 60, but no sort of senior citizens, no one with disabilities, that sort of thing. So clearly not reflective of a real world environment. But explain to us how not having as much legroom and smaller seats overall can affect safety in terms of rapid evacuation.
Yeah, I mean, so, there are exit rows. In order for people to get out, you need space. And right now, if you try to use the restroom, on many planes, everyone in that row has to get out because there's just no physical way. So, if the FAA wants planes to be evacuated in 90 seconds and it's life or death, the smaller the row, the harder it is to get out, the more clogging in the aisle. And I'll just also state there are other things beyond evacuation that makes crowded planes more unsafe. I think it does increase the amount of passenger interaction. Flight attendant union has come out and said that these crammed in seats are creating ever more, the tense environment on board.
Fights that
exactly.
We see on flights
and that is
all
a
the
safety
time.
issue. Yeah, and that is a safety issue. So
yes. So the FAA, their focus is, of course, on safety, on evacuations. At this point in time, should their focus be also on comfort? I mean, isn't it fair that if you're paying a certain amount for your seat that you deserve a certain level of comfort, especially in this inflationary environment where airline tickets are getting all the more expensive?
Yeah, I don't believe so. I do believe in the free market environment. I believe that consumers should have the education, and when you buy a ticket, it should clearly state, some airlines don't have recline, but I would hate to see rules where that would force up fares even higher than where they are today, which would price out a certain market. There are certain people who are happy to have a crammed in seat and pay a fraction and not, so
Fine.
I don't believe the government should make planes super luxurious and comfortable, which inevitably would raise fares.
Fine, that is a good point, because it would lead to higher prices for everybody if you ended up getting a little bit more legroom. So if airlines are forced to reconfigure or they are forced to sort of expand legroom just for evacuation purposes and safety purposes, what kind of an undertaking would that actually be for airlines?
It would certainly be a multi-year undertaking. I think they probably make the rules for planes going forward that are delivered. But yeah, it's extremely expensive. But airlines do this all the time. Airlines are sneaky. They'll take out a row of seats to get around the rules because there's a certain number of flight attendants you need to have. So we've seen airlines actually block off seats on planes so that they don't have to add an extra flight attendant. So airlines are clever when it comes to maximizing their profit. So if it's a safety issue, I'm sure the airlines will find ways to put back some space in the rows.
Right. But in the meantime, I think we all have to just endure the cramped environment we find ourselves in when we're traveling. It is tight in there. All right, Brian Kelly, live for us there. Thank you so much.